After serving 12 years in the military, Marine Sergeant David Thompson returned to his home in Cedar Ridge, eager to settle into civilian life and enjoy the peace he had longed for during his years of service. However, his hopes were quickly challenged when he discovered that his Homeowners Association, HOA, governed by the strict and unyielding Harold Jefferson, had introduced a new rule banning vehicles like his reliable Ford F-150 from being parked visibly outside. The rule, passed during David's deployment without his knowledge, required all non-approved vehicles to be stored in garages or face fines. Unfortunately, David's garage was packed with belongings from his military years, making compliance impossible. David initially sought a peaceful resolution by writing a respectful but firm letter to the HOA, requesting an exemption based on his military service and the truck's long-term presence. However, Harold and the HOA rejected his request without consideration, setting a strict 2-week deadline for compliance or threatening daily fines. Matters became even more complicated when a neighbor revealed that Harold harbored a personal grudge against military vehicles due to his son's rejection from the armed forces. This revelation divided the neighborhood, with some residents sympathizing with David's plight and others siding with the HOA out of fear or loyalty. Faced with mounting pressure and fines, David refused to give up. Using the strategic thinking he had honed in the military, he carefully reviewed the HOA's bylaws and discovered a rarely used loophole allowing residents to propose rule changes if enough neighbors signed a petition. Seizing this opportunity, David mobilized support by appealing to his neighbors' sense of fairness, gaining backing especially from veterans and families who saw the HOA's rules as excessive. A retired judge also publicly endorsed David's proposal, adding credibility to the movement and swaying undecided residents. As the conflict escalated, Harold attempted to sabotage David's efforts through a smear campaign and a last-minute attempt to require a supermajority for new rules, but these efforts failed. When voting day arrived, the community center was filled with residents eager to have their voices heard. David's proposal to allow parking exceptions for active duty and veteran residents passed overwhelmingly, signaling a dramatic shift in Cedar Ridge's power structure. Harold's grip on the neighborhood weakened, and the old regime's control gave way to a more community-focused leadership under Mrs. Jenkins, who emphasized compassion over rigid rule enforcement. David's victory was more than just a personal win. It became a catalyst for change in Cedar Ridge, inspiring other residents to challenge unreasonable HOA rules and reclaim their community. David earned respect not only as a veteran, but as a leader who stood up to injustice and united his neighbors. His story serves as a powerful example of how determination, strategic action, and community solidarity can overcome entrenched authority and bring about positive transformation.